We are live. Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Talk Games. I am your host, Forsaken Dredgen. It's interesting to put a face behind the voice, isn't it? Today I'm doing a special edition of Let's Talk Games. And what I mean by a special edition of Let's Talk Games, it's relatively simple. First and foremost, I want to take this time and say I hope everyone is staying safe and practicing social distancing. Okay, with that out of the way and with that being said, I'm playing a game that debuted March 8th, 2016. As you can see on the screen, it's The Division. Well, this one here is The Division 2. But for the topic today, just the topic for today, I did some thinking, and it's been about 2 weeks, and my wife gave me the idea of, hey, that'd be a great kickoff for your show. It's like, So I thought about it. Anyway, long story short, I gave it thought, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to do the show with this. This edition of Let's Talk Games is a discussion, and I want to hear your thoughts, your comments down in the comment section below about what you think. So let's get into this. March 8th, 2016, the very first Division launched. With the launch of the first Division, we were, as gamers, placed into New York City fighting this virus, so to speak. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any means, but it kind of makes what today's topic all about relative, in a sense. So if you've played the Division 1 or the Division 2, you'll know what exactly I'm talking about. So in the game, the Division 1, you play an agent that's called in to fight or find a cure for this plague, this epidemic of a foreign virus. I believe in the game it was called the virus was plagued Black Friday, and it was set for January 2020 in the game. Now, if you think about the time, more or less the time frames kind of line up with the Division's storyline, the virus known as the coronavirus today, but in the game I think it was the dollar bill virus or something like that happened on Black Friday. So I want to hear from you guys, my viewers. Is it a conspiracy? I don't think it is. Well, I do. I'm lying. I do think it's a conspiracy, but it kind of brings, a different look on the Division as a whole. In the Division 2, we are in the capital. However, in the Division 1, we are in New York City. And a lot of the deaths that America is facing today happens to be in New York City. And I want to take this time to discuss the Division storyline. And see what you guys think about, or where if you guys share the same thoughts or almost the same thoughts as myself on this, I guess you would say conspiracy theory, or yeah, you can say conspiracy theory. But it just, to me, it makes sense. It lines up. But give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Again, I had to turn on The Division because it would only make sense for this particular topic to line up with what I'm saying. And you're getting the blue screen of death. Right now. Because I can't do this without help. There's that background noise I'm talking about. Okay, so we're live, guys. All right. So, as I was mentioning, I am the host for Sacred Dredgen. These two gentlemen that I'm in their party, they don't know what the topic is about right now, but they're about to find out. Official, please say something to the audience or viewers. Wolf, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, so here's what the topic is today, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, as I said in my opening sequence, but think about the coronavirus for a minute. Stop what you're doing. So think about what the coronavirus is. The coronavirus for a minute, okay? Okay, now here's the thing. Back in March 8th, 2016, a game called The Division hit the shelves, right? In the storyline, you were fighting what? A virus, right? Okay, that started on Black Friday. Now, if you think about the date in the game, it was set for January 2020. When did the coronavirus come to America? And let me underline this for just a moment. It was a foreign virus in the game of The Division. So, give me your guys' thoughts. I'm going to start with you, Wolf. I mean, would you have thought any other way about The Division? Would you have looked at The Division like that? And how about you, Official? What are your thoughts? Okay, but the time frame for this dollar day or day dollar viral thing in The Division If you think about the lineup, time frame wise, it kind of goes in line with what we're facing now, and not just as America, but as the world is looking at.
I can't really think about that. There's too much work to do, and too many other people who are relying on me to worry about me.
And that's what this live is about.
Keep together and support every day.
The coronavirus and the storyline of The Division, how they line up. Yes, it's coincidental. Conspiracy theorist. I would say I'm bouncing, like I'm teetering on that a little bit. But I am not by any means a conspiracy theorist. And I came up with this about 2 weeks ago after I seen some memes on Reddit about how the artist that made Death Stranding, he predicted the coronavirus, when in fact the prediction actually started in The Division.
I need to find some new boots.
The Division just started. I'm not dead yet.
Right.
Agent deceased.
Right. So that's my thing. I was looking at doing this live for exactly what we're doing right now. A discussion, a talking. I'm grabbing a drink. Hold on. I'm going to mute. About this particular thing. And like I said before, I'm not known for being a conspiracy theorist. I can't express that enough. I'm sorry. But it kind of does make sense, coincidentally, like Official said. Me myself, I enjoyed The Division, the first one as well as the second one, and in my opinion, The Division 2 is by far, in a lot of ways, better than the first. And just the storyline alone, it still follows the coronavirus and in certain aspects. It follows what we're facing today as the world. I mean, we don't have agents walking around with a watch on, waiting, going to turn orange, but yeah. That's true. But I wanted to do this because of the coronavirus, and I wanted to, I guess you would say, more or less, put people's awareness that,
I know he's
um,
done great work with the Division, but he will be sorely missed.
gamers or creators, developers,
A lot of gems. I hope that he can
they pretty much,
knowledge of the city to help the agents in his new role at the White House.
depending on,
Deserve a break from
I guess you would say,
Here's a little music.
depending on the developer or creator, they pretty much narrowly hit the nail on the head with certain games and certain storylines.
Inventory.
Right. Well, there have been there have been claims about the time travel thing, but that's we're not talking about that. We're talking about games. But yeah, that's the main discussion right now is how not collectively, but coincidentally, the storyline for the Division 1 and 2, 1 and 2, kind of run parallel to what we're facing with the coronavirus. I mean, because if you think about it, in the Division 1 and 2, people are hunting for resources, they're scavenging for resources, looting for resources. We haven't gotten there yet, but I think if we don't get a hold of this or get ahead of it, we will be there soon enough. And not only am I wanting to talk about the games aspects and stuff like that, but I want to underline, how serious the coronavirus is. I mean, if a viewer is watching and they've never experienced the Division 1 and 2, or just 2, or just 1, or whatever the case may be, they might be encouraged a little bit to go online and look up some gameplay for the game and think about, the coronavirus and kind of look at them parallel, storyline for the Division and what the world is facing with the coronavirus. I mean, yeah, so, I mean, the flu has an estimated, back in 1918, I think it was 50 million. The flu, just the flu. And that almost wiped out humanity. So, if you think about, and I know this is like the worst topic anybody can kick off their show with, and that's why I said this is a special edition of Let's Talk Games. This is not the actual Let's Talk Games per se, but my focus is going to be how parallel, more or less, the Division storyline runs right next to the coronavirus. And I wish you had an open chat party and not locked. Yeah, whoever chat party it is. Whose chat party is it? Well, I'm going to go blue screen. You want to go to party settings. And it should be in there either private or open. Yeah. All right. Because I want to in. Oh, okay. I wanted to see if I could invite. He's not. He's not on. But I wanted to bring in a guy that I know. Well, you guys know him too. 16 hours ago? I bet he's on. He's just not showing on. And I wanted to. Well, yeah. I mean, just see what he says about it. Get his get point of view.
Hostile control point nearby.
Nasty. But yeah, I wanted to get his thoughts. I mean, I hear your guys' thoughts. You guys really aren't going into too much depth with your thoughts. Right. Oh, wow.
Friendly control point nearby.
Right. No, I agree 100%. Now, you official, you're like kind of in the midst of it, right? You're in Florida, right?
Burn out the flight!
Vital signs critical. Agent killed.
Really? Wow. Now there was some events that were supposed to take place in Florida, but they've been canceled. It's crazy. Right.
Hostile control point identified. Hostile control point identified.
Okay. Now, right quick. Okay, right quick. If you would mind, go back into your party settings, and you would have to allow your voices to be heard. That you as well, official. No, you go into the party. Yes, allow your voice to be shared. Because the only voice I got coming out of my audio is me. Okay, I just heard official. No, I can't hear you. Nope, still not showing up you. Official. I can't even hear official.
Hello?
Ollie oxen free.
Okay, that time I heard official.
What, Ollie
Hostile
oxen
control
free?
point nearby.
Okay, now I just heard Wolf. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
All right. So we are talking about the Division 1 and the Division 2 storyline, how they match up with the coronavirus on Let's Talk Games. And keep in mind, this is a very special edition of Let's Talk Games. And I'm here with Official and Wolf,
Hello.
Yup.
who had who weren't able to, did not have their voices allowed to be heard, so we had to open that up. But they were basically saying how it is coincidental that how the storylines of the Division lines up with the coronavirus. And I was saying that I'm not a conspiracy theorist, by no means am I. And I would say I'm on the brink of being a conspiracy theorist with my thoughts.
Shoot, if that's the case, then all three of us would be considered conspiracy theorists at this point.
But
Hey, if it makes sense, it makes sense.
Exactly. I mean, it all lines up.
It does. It really does. And it's scary to actually look at it like that. And like I said before, the storyline just kind of, it's kind of
Control
weird
point detected.
that it matches what we're facing in the world today, known as the coronavirus or COVID-19. But yeah, go ahead, guys. I just thought that yeah, I would bring this special edition of Let's Talk Games into light a little bit with my thoughts and the two gentlemen that are currently with me, their thoughts.
Well, yeah, like I was saying, I think it is weird, yet it all makes sense. But the weirdest part about it is that the U.S. has a patent for the virus.
Right. Well, in the Division 1 and 2, you're faced with, I guess you would say, battling or trying to find a cure for the virus, if I'm correct. And you're a Division agent, and if you think
Not
about
only that, you're also faced with trying to take back the city
Right.
as means of like a headquarters to take back the whole world from the virus.
well, that and people that don't feel the need for law and order.
Be placed back.
Law and Order.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, the game launched like I had said earlier. The game launched March 8th, 2016, and it showed that the virus in the game had, I guess you would say, launched in January 2020. That's the game's
Yes.
storyline. And I just thought it was
Detected.
kind of
Nearby location guarded by hostiles.
interesting how the two lined up. And that's what we're talking about today. In this special edition of Let's Talk Games. But all right, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go back to what you guys were saying, since we didn't have audio on you guys.
It's all good. Shit, what was I saying? Pardon my French, first of all.
Oh, you're fine. I'm sure we've all heard or said worse.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. I know I'm
Detected. The control
I'm
point
bad
in
about it.
proximity.
But yeah, like I was saying earlier, about IFO, or for some that's not big into the car community, it's called Import Face Off. And I've talked to several guys, and a few of them are pretty well known in the car community, and a few of them I met at the last IFO I was at. And right now, because of this, IFO is being pushed back. By no means a small get-together, like maybe 50, 60 people, like a small town to get together. I mean, IFO is big. I'm talking anywhere from 500 to 1,000 people or more. And everybody's saying if it keeps getting pushed back, they're just going to cancel it because of what's going on.
Right.
Hey, I've done so much to my vehicle, I just want to show it off, get some kind of appreciation there. for. And a lot of people can't even right now do that, and probably won't be able to until this is done.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The virus, this coronavirus, and the storyline for The Division is interesting to say the least.
Oh yeah, very much so.
You know, in my opinion, I mean, I never looked at or thought about how the storylines would line up or match from a video game to real life, and it's kind of scary in a sense, but in another sense, I find it, like Official said, coincidental.
It's almost extremely coincidental.
But how about your thoughts, Official? Go in depth with your thoughts, sir.
Well, for me, I feel like my work. I was working a golf tournament, right? And it's a major golf tournament, PGA, all that. I am working parking, so if fans aren't there, I can't work. 3 days into the tournament, they just start canceling everything. Fans can't come in, and now I'm out of work for 3 of my 50-hour days.
Right.
So I'm losing money at the expense of this virus. So it's a impact on people's being able to be like financially secure. It's impacting jobs, you know. So it's like it's really.
You got cut off there. It's really.
It's really getting there.
Oh yeah, I agree.
It's the same way for me and mine. My job, I mean, granted, I work for a fast food joint and I'm an essential employee, but all of our hours get cut way back, or our store hours have been cut way back, and making it hard for us that are considered essential employees, or supposed to be essential employees, even make a living and provide for our families.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody's just so damn scared about this virus.
Well, collectively, everybody is right to be afraid of it. I mean, it is a deadly virus. It's a nasty, deadly virus. I mean, from what I understand, there was reports of animals actually getting the virus. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, they tested it.
It actually first started out as an
actually got
animal virus.
Right.
Because I've looked at the COVID-19 myself, and for years they've been vaccinating animals for it before it even became mainstream.
Well, I didn't go in depth.
So they had
that's what I'm saying. We've known about it for way longer than we've actually been talking.
Friendly combatants nearby.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do an in-depth, I guess you would say, research on it. Heck, just a couple of weeks ago, I was joking about it, how it's not even that serious, this, that, and the other thing. And I smoke, and I have smoker's cough. And every time I was out and I was coughing, I was like, coronavirus, you know. And then it dawned on me when I started reading about it and checking on the news a little bit, because my wife, she's real heavy into the virus itself. Like she's keeping track of the number counts and everything of that nature. And when I realized, you know, just how bad it is, I completely stopped about joking about it. And
considering it's to the point to where you can even get arrested for joking about it.
Yeah, there was a gentleman in North Carolina who was arrested for it. There was some kids that were going around coughing on produce in Walmart, and Walmart had to throw away $35,000 just in produce because these kids were saying that they had coronavirus. I mean,
That's
it's
just messed up.
it's
Because
getting
believe it or not, people are dumb enough to think that it's not a big deal until it gets to the point where your next door neighbor is dying, and it's actually affecting a lot of people in ways that you didn't think it was going to.
right. Now, see, here's the thing. My brothers, both of them, they live in another town. They're about an hour and a half away from me, and my baby brother's daughter, she had gotten sick, and she was running a fever. Well, they're under quarantine because out of fear that she has the bug, coronavirus or COVID-19. So
Friendly combatants nearby.
they're under quarantine. They're not allowed to leave the house or anything. And I find that interesting, well, not interesting, but it's kind of almost hitting home for me, the virus. Hoping and praying that everybody's fine and safe, and they don't have it or they don't catch it. But
Most definitely.
Yeah, but by all means, stay safe, stay clean.
definitely wash your hands for 20 seconds. Utilize that social distancing. I was talking to them on the phone, and I almost broke down. Telling my brothers, when you go out, make sure you have some kind of bandana wrapped around your nose and your mouth, because this thing is really, really bad. And from what I understand, it's killed more people than the 9/11 attacks.
Oh yeah, hell, it killed more people right now than SARS has, and that as it was worse than COVID-19.
But I think like I said earlier, the flu actually has a higher death toll of 50 million, if I'm not mistaken, and that was back in 1918, almost wiping out civilization.
Well, not only that, but the flu is also a precursor to pneumonia. And if it's not taken care of, it can easily turn into pneumonia. And once you got pneumonia, back then there was no cure for it. Once you have pneumonia, your days are numbered.
Right. Well, I'm looking at coronavirus now. This is just me personally. I'm looking at like coronavirus is a enhanced version of the flu, because when you get it, you can easily get pneumonia.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, the two run parallel. And I asked my wife earlier today, and she said no, they can't do that. But I asked my wife earlier today, if it's a super flu, right? Why can't they just make a super vaccine? Use the vaccine we have for the flu and just make it enhanced, because it's an enhanced version of the flu. And she said no, they can't do that. Well, why not?
Because as much relative as it is to the flu, it's still more complex than that. You can't just slap.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A higher dosage of a flu shot and expect it to work. It's not something like that. It's something that is new and relatively unheard of. So we just need to just give them time, see how they can deal with it, and just stay safe. Just follow your city guidelines and just be safe.
Not only that, they're looking at it as they're looking at it from another standpoint, because they're looking at it. It's going to cost a lot more money to do trial and error to create a vaccine for it, and they're, with everything going on, they don't think right now we're at a standpoint to where we're going to be able to create a vaccine. So they're just
Friendly
doing
combatants
the
nearby.
minimum, in my opinion, the minimum of trying to keep it contained and hopefully get rid of it.
Has anyone heard of what the United Kingdom is doing for it?
No.
Apparently they, from what I've seen, they're with Italy and they're using the vaccine that Italy has a patent for. But I'm not 100% sure if that's even true.
Now, I have seen just earlier today, I read that there is a potential cure. There's a doctor in New York. He's administering this medicine, and he's had a 600, I want to believe it said 699% success rate on battling the coronavirus. Now, also in the insert that I read, it said that states are banning what he was using.
Why? If it works, why ban it?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
That
It
just-
did not outline that per se, but yeah, they were saying that how this particular medicine is being banned in some states.
Just from a
People see
civilian
it
aspect,
as
that
live
makes no sense.
experimentation because it's not 100% surefire government approved cure, and if it's not approved by them, it's like what are you doing it for? They don't know that you're trying to help people. You could be doing it for personal gain. So
Right. And then there was another one my wife read. There was some antibiotics that were help fighting the coronavirus. And I was like, well, why don't they just start administering it? And again, it's the same thing, you know. It's not 100%. It's not approved or whatever, not have you.
Friendly combatants nearby.
But it's stuff to actually think about. The virus and what we as a civilization, you know, not just America but the world as a whole, what we're up against. And this thing is not I guess you would say a physical enemy as much as it is a
Mental.
medical enemy, I guess you would say.
Well, not only that, it's also a mental enemy because it's also tearing down people mentally through constant fear.
Right.
A hostile control point detected.
What do you want? What?
I just think that, you know, I just thought it kind of interesting how the Division's storyline kind of lined up with coronavirus a little bit.
and it definitely does. But all negatives aside, can we like talk about how the Earth is actually healing from us being inside?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like has anybody looked at the articles in Venice?
No, I haven't.
I know I have.
The water's been clear for the first time in like decades. The swans are back. It's not as bad as we think it is. To me at least.
You know, I was thinking, and maybe I'm wrong for thinking this particular way with it, and I look at the virus like this. All these people panicking about how bad it is and how everything, you know, you're trying to prevent from getting it. You're trying to prevent this. You're trying to prevent that, you know, all aspects of the bug itself per se, right? But think about
Yeah.
this. Think about this just for a moment. What is the one thing we're taught growing up? If you try to prevent the worst from happening, what's going to happen?
It's going to happen regardless.
Exactly.
Where there's a will, there's a way, regardless of how bad or how good it is. It's going to find a way. It's part of life.
Incoming hostiles detected.
And that was one of my things with people trying to prevent this from people trying to avoid getting it. But what, in my opinion, just my opinion now, that you can't, or
Agent requesting backup.
you can prevent you, to an extent, but sooner or later it's going to have to run its course. You know what I mean? Whether it would be 100 people or 1,000,010, you know, whatever the case is, you know, if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. There's no two ways about it, you know.
Detecting additional hostile
And as
contacts.
far as that aspect, I know this is going a little off topic. There's shit going around on Facebook, YouTube about these so-called influencers actually purposely. They call it the COVID-19 challenge. I don't know if you guys have heard
Serious
about it
trauma
or seen it,
detected.
but they're going
Agent
around
deceased.
licking toilet seats and doorknobs and shit, trying to get it. Like it's not real. But one of them's already gotten it, and he's high risk at possibly losing his life.
Why would you go around licking toilet seats? I mean, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I watched a video last night. Guy who was, I guess you would say, making out with a telephone pole in New York.
That's gross. That's the worst thing you want to do.
You know,
Like I said, people are stupid enough to be oblivious to something, and then they make fun of it, and that's why we're in the position we are.
Exactly.
I mean, of course, take the necessary steps and the necessary
Friendly
precautions.
combatants
But
detected.
in my opinion, you know, don't go overboard, because what's going to happen is, if you go overboard, all you're going to do is basically catch it. You're just
Exactly.
you're going to end up
You're
with
gonna
it.
set yourself up to catch it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've been, you know, trying to stress. But, you know, don't, like I said, don't go overboard. You know, take the necessary precautions that are needed to be taken to prevent you from catching it, but don't go overboard. Now, everything that I'm saying obviously is opinion based. It's not, you know, 100%.
Friendly combatants nearby.
But I'm doing everything I can to make sure I don't get it, and my wife as well. And she's a what did you say you were, Wolf? In
I work
terms,
for Burger King.
well, I'm saying like,
I work in the kitchen itself. I make the food for the customers and stuff like that.
right? But
Me
there
myself,
was a term you used. You're a
essential employee.
An
as
essential.
they call it.
My wife is an essential employee as well. So, you know, I'm not one to take stuff seriously, so to speak, if that makes any sense.
Situation nearby.
Yeah.
You get that wake up call.
And what gave me the wake up call was, you know, all of these people are dying from this thing. And I am not, by any means, the safest person in the world. I'm not even close to it. But I'm not going to stand there and allow myself to get infected. I mean, if I can prevent the infection by every and any means necessary, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, well, I can't be doing, I got to be doing this, and that.
Just don't be oblivious.
Right.
It's happening. You need to be safe. Take necessary precautions. Don't be that Karen that goes into Walmart and steals all the toilet paper because she doesn't want to catch it. Turns out one of the toilet paper rolls has it on it. Don't do that. Don't set yourself up for failure. Do what you need to do to stay safe, and just take the time to focus on making the world a better place when we can be out of it. All right?
Exactly.
Identified.
I'll get you in the end.
See it as a reset, but come back out and rebuild.
My bad.
Right. Exactly.
I could use some help.
We're in this, like it's being said all over the news. We're in this together, like it or not.
Exactly.
Oh, don't kill me. Care for your neighbors, take, like you said, official, the necessary precautions, but as I'm going to tell you, don't go overboard with it because you're setting yourself up to get it.
Exactly.
Can't see anyone.
Resources are
ahead.
essential. Resources are essential, but they're essential for everyone, not just for one particular family, one particular household. Don't go around buying, like you said, 100 million rolls of toilet tissue. What are you doing with all that toilet paper?
Build a house out of it.
I mean, hold on.
They're using all that toilet paper for crochet.
I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It
I'm
is
like,
though.
are you eating that? I don't get it.
I mean, if they are, at least they ain't got to wipe afterwards.
That's exactly what I made the joke about. I said the same thing. Well, at least if you're eating the toilet tissue, you don't have to clean yourself because that's all you're going to be exiting, But that was a stupid joke on my part. But
Thinking about it now, it's actually pretty funny because people are still trying to buy up crap tons of toilet paper.
exactly, and I'm like, why are you doing that?
Yes, they limited it, but people are still trying. That's the thing. People are still trying to buy it in mass quantities for no reason, but because they want it just in case.
For what?
My point exactly. There's no reason to buy it in mass
3
quantities.
years. It's not necessary.
If you want it in that big of a quantity, go to freaking Costco and buy it by the case.
Go to
Leave
Sam's
all the
Club.
small stores. That too. Leave all the small stores like Walmart that don't sell it that way. Leave those places alone for those that are like us that don't freak out. So we could actually have the needs and the necessities that we need. But if you want to be an idiot and buy it in bulk, like you said, go to Sam's Club or go to Costco where they do sell it in bulk.
Nearby.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, in terms of buying all of that toilet tissue, and if any of my viewers have any kind of insight on why people are buying that much toilet tissue, please feel free to let me know. I mean, because I seriously don't know.
I don't either. I mean, they said it makes you sick. They said it makes you sick like you got the flu. They said nothing about it giving you the shits. They just recently started putting that out, and that's not even 100% proven that it even gives you the shits. But when it started out, everybody was freaking out, and instead of doing the right precautions, they just started buying up all the damn toilet paper.
There was
Right.
a video out where a lady, I'm gonna call them Karens, literally fought a grandma over a thing of toilet paper, and two
I
people
seen
had
that
to come in
video.
and save her. Yeah.
I seen that video, and it was at a Walmart. The store manager and an employee came and saved her.
I've not seen videos like that at all.
Oh, I have.
Personally, I just think that would be ridiculous. However, I did see a video the last night or this morning. I don't remember which it was, but the guy was coughing on produce, and one of the employees came up and just bitch slapped him. just knocked him out. I was like, well, that's one way of doing it, you know?
As for what purpose?
That's hilarious. I mean,
He deserved it.
exactly. They
Exactly.
should allow employees at the big, like Kroger's, Walmart, or if Kmart, for instance, if there are still any left. They should allow their employees, if they see people coughing on the produce purposely, to just simply walk up and smack them. And be like, you don't do that, get out of my store.
Right. I thought it was comical. I'm about to die, but that's fine. I died, man. I was like, there you go. That's what you get for being an idiot.
Exactly.
But
Vital signs critical.
I was like, did he just really smack that motherfucker? In fact, I had to watch the video like 2 or 3 times just to fully get what was going on. And I was like, holy crap.
You couldn't understand why he hit him like that.
Yeah, because in the video you don't see him coughing. You don't see the other guy coughing on the produce. You just see him standing at like a distance away from it, and just unless you read the caption on the video, you understand why he did it. And I'm like, as I was watching the video, I'm like, okay, I get that he's coughing on the produce, right? But I don't see how he's coughing on the produce.
Exactly.
Because, you know, he was at a relatively good distance as to
Device detected.
from being from coughing on it, you know what I mean? And then this is why I say it took me a couple of times to rewatch it, because he wasn't actually coughing on the produce. What the gentleman was actually doing on the produce was he was spitting on it. And I was like, okay, now that makes sense. The caption reads coughing, but he was actually spitting on the produce.
That's still disgusting.
Yeah,
That's just as bad as coughing on it.
exactly.
Hostile control point.
But my I heard that. my
No, don't.
my thing was, the caption reads he's coughing on the produce, but when in actuality he's spitting on the produce.
People are dumb.
I
gotta say.
agree, 100%.
People will stare in the face of a pandemic and make jokes about it. It's very sad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I don't. I don't find any kind of fun in it.
Not saying that you can like try to laugh in the face of adversity, but like stuff like that, like actively going out of your way to antagonize the situation is very beyond me.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. It just I mean, there's people out in the world, they're trying to make light of the situation. You know what I mean? My wife showed me a video the other day. This dude, he's like sharing a beer with his neighbor, and his neighbor used a remote controlled car just to deliver him the beer. And I was like, it's you know, that's kind of funny, but in the same sense, it's they're taking it seriously, but in my opinion,
a comical sense.
yeah. And there was another video where there was the song "You Can't Touch Us" by MC Hammer. They were dancing to it, and they wouldn't touch each other, but yet they were like tapping their feet together, and I mean, just having a blast. But like I said, it's interesting. I mean, you can make the light of the situation, just not.
Just don't be a jackass.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't be a jackass about it. I mean, because people's lives are at stake, including your own, and
there are very obvious lines that you just shouldn't cross.
yeah, exactly. But no,
I know.
Go ahead.
I know I'm getting a little off topic here. I wanted to bring this up before I have to step away because old ladies want me to go get her a thing of pop. What do you think about how it was spread compared to how it was spread in Division? I mean, in Division, it was spread by hand-to-hand exchange of money.
Right.
Whereas it actually, the way it expanded ours is it originally started by people, I think it was in China, eating improperly prepared bats, as it were.
Okay, I don't know exactly how in China it started, but if you think about the Division storyline, and I can't stress that enough, I mean, how it runs parallel with the coronavirus, what we're facing right now, currently in the world. Yeah. Just in my opinion, or just in my thoughts, I would say they're relatively similar because in the Division storyline, again, it's the money. You know, you're handing the money, right?
Yeah, and
so
in the storyline, you're eventually going to Ground Zero, where it all started too.
Right. So, in retrospect, if you think about it, the coronavirus is the same way because they're telling us to wear something over our nose and our mouth, not to touch our eyes, nose, and mouth. Right?
Exactly.
So if you think about it, if you touch a dollar bill, say that person who's giving you the money or the person that you're giving the money to or whatever the case may be, they're giving you the money. We'll do it like that. They're giving you the money. Who's to say that they don't have the virus and they just don't know it yet? They're touching this money after they scratch their eye or scratch their mouth, and they don't have gloves on. So they're handing you this money. Now that you have the money, guess what? You're infected. I mean, because think about it. You're putting the money in your wallet. You have an itch on your eye or your nose or your mouth, whatever. You're going to scratch it or wipe it or whatever it is that you do. You have it now, and you don't know it. So you're going to give it to your family. Your family's going to give it to friends. You're going to give it to friends. And sooner or later, that one person just turned into, say, 50 in a matter of hours.
Or more, depending
Yeah,
on how fast the money exchange hands.
exactly. Or how fast you interact with somebody else physically, like you touch their shoulder or shake their hand or whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now this is just my opinion, my thoughts. What are your thoughts, official? Then I'm going to cut this special edition off.
Okay.
Well, just in closing, basically, stay. If your city's telling you to stay inside, stay inside. Take necessary precautions to keep yourself and others safe. Don't be a jackass. And just we're all in this together. We all gotta treat it like everyone is trying to make sure that we're all okay.
Exactly.
Okay, but that doesn't. Okay, but Wolf's question was the storyline, the division, like it happened on Black Friday in exchange for the money, and the coronavirus happened by people not preparing bats. You said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How does I guess what he's trying to say is how the storylines map out in terms of the spread, right, Wolf?
Yeah. What are your thoughts about how the storyline for the division map out about how it spreaded and started with what's going on right now?
Well, like I said in the beginning, it's very coincidental how it all comes together. How it's spread, it's about as not really the same, but I actually seen a video on like spreading it between people. It's I don't really know how to explain it, but basically just I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know how to put that topic. It makes sense.
All right. So it's interesting. You know, it's kind of I guess you would say for my closing thoughts.
Friendly combatants detected.
I'm going to say it's kind of interesting how they run parallel. Coincidentally, run parallel, I should say.
Yeah.
How it's contracted, I honestly I could not tell you. I just tell you, I'm just going to tell you the same as what the CDC and the new everybody else is telling you. Take the necessary precautions, like official just said. You know, cover your nose, cover your mouth. Wear gloves if you have to wear gloves. Stay safe. You know, do social distancing. Practice it to the letter, because the virus is here, and it's not going to go away anytime soon. We hope and pray that it does, but it's here, and we need to take the necessary precautions and steps to make sure it doesn't get any worse than it currently is.
Exactly.
Don't overdo it, and don't buy all the toilet tissue. There are other people in the world. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there. All right.
Yes, like our family, we had to buy 2 rolls of Dollar General toilet tissue, and yeah, it was not great.
But with that, save me some charming, he says. With that being said, I am your host, Forsaken Dredgen. My 2 guests, Wolf and Official. Thank you, gentlemen, for contributions in this special edition of Let's Talk Games. Sorry it was more focused on the coronavirus, but if you think about the game The Division, and if you actually want to do some research on the game The Division, if you haven't already played it, 1 or 2, go take a look into it, read up on it if you're inclined to. I encourage it. In fact, you'll see the similarities, in my opinion. The next time I air, hopefully I'll have my stuff set up in my room going, and we're going to talk about a game that I really want to talk about and discuss. That's coming out at the end of the year, called Outriders.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing that.
If you have not heard about Outriders, go take a look at some of the videos on YouTube. And with that, I am Forsaken Dredgen. Oh, wait. It cut me off. I gotta go back in. So with that, I am your host, Forsaken Dredgen. Stay safe. Practice social distancing. God bless. Have a good night. Yes, and stay clean.